What if I told you that India just shook the entire electric vehicle world with a $4,999 car? That's not a typo, just under $5,000. In an era where EVs routinely break the bank, this announcement has people questioning everything they thought they knew about the industry. It sounds almost too good to be true, right? But behind the viral headlines and jaw-dropping price tag lies a story that's a lot more complicated and a lot more interesting than just cheap car goes viral. Because if this turns out to be legit, it's not just a new car. It's a wake-up call for Tesla, BYD, and every automaker banking on overpriced electrics. So, how did this happen? And is it real? Let's break down the hype and the hidden reality. The internet exploded the moment headlines claimed India launches $4,999 EV. You couldn't scroll through car content without seeing flashy thumbnails and captions shouting about how this was the Tesla killer from the East. But if you clicked on some of these videos, you'd notice something strange. No clear mention of which company built the car, no official footage, and definitely no press release from Tata, Mahindra, or anyone with skin in the EV game. So, what gives? Turns out, this wave of buzz didn't start with an actual product announcement. It started with speculation. A mix of older quotes, viral headlines, and misunderstood prototypes snowballed into a full-blown media storm. Some creators ran with the hype. Others genuinely believed it was happening. And let's be real, at $4,999, who wouldn't want to believe it? But the deeper you dig, the more you realize this wasn't a launch. It was a signal, a whisper of what might be coming, or what the industry hopes is possible. Now here's the twist. Even though no one's officially unveiled a $4,999 EV in India, it still feels believable. Why? Because India has a history of doing what the rest of the world says is impossible. Just look at the Tata Nano. Back in 2008, they launched it at just $2,000. Sure, it was tiny and bare bones, but it proved one thing loud and clear. India knows how to build ultra-affordable vehicles. Add to that the Indian government's aggressive push for EV adoption, with subsidies, tax breaks, and production-linked incentives. And suddenly, the idea of a rock-bottom EV doesn't sound so crazy. Combine that with a booming middle class, surging fuel prices, and insane traffic that makes small electric cars ideal, and you've got the perfect storm for disruption. People aren't just falling for clickbait, they're connecting the dots. This feels like the next chapter in a story India's been writing for years. All right, time for a reality check. Let's break down what it actually takes to build an electric vehicle, any electric vehicle. The most basic component? The battery. Even using cheaper lithium iron phosphate, LFP cells, a small EV battery still costs around $1,500 to $2,000. And that's just the battery. Now add in the electric motor, control systems, chassis, suspension, braking, tires, lights, safety features, touchscreen, basic interior. Suddenly, you're well above $5,000 before even thinking about profit margins, shipping, taxes, or dealership fees. So, unless a company is planning to sell at a massive loss, or someone steps in with extreme government subsidies, this price tag just doesn't add up. Not in 2025, not with today's tech, not without some serious shortcuts. This isn't to say it's impossible forever, but at this moment, that number feels more like a bold headline than a realistic invoice. And yet, some believe India might still pull it off. But how? If anyone could pull off a sub-5K EV, it's likely going to come from one of three places: Tata, Mahindra, or Ola Electric. These companies aren't just major players. They've proven they can think outside the box. Tata already dominates India's EV space with models like the Tiago EV, priced around $10,000 to $12,000. Ola, on the other hand, shocked everyone with its ultra-cheap electric scooters, packed with tech, sleek design, and dirt-cheap pricing. And Mahindra? They've been teasing next-gen electric concepts for years. If any of them used non-traditional methods, like smaller battery packs, two-seater city designs, or even battery swapping tech, they might be able to strip down costs in ways the West wouldn't dare try. Imagine an EV that skips airbags, touchscreen infotainment, or even AC built purely for ultra-dense urban use. It wouldn't fly in Europe or the US, but in India, it could make perfect sense. Still, even these EV giants face one massive roadblock: global competition. Enter China, the reigning king of budget EVs. Right now, the BYD Seagull is making waves globally with a price tag hovering around $7,800. It's not just affordable, it's impressive. Solid range, decent interior, and legit safety features. That's the bar. So if India's aiming for $4,999, it's not just undercutting Tesla. It's going straight for China's throat. But here's the catch. China has scale. It controls the global supply chain for batteries, rare earth materials, and manufacturing infrastructure. That's why they can build so cheap. India? It's catching up fast, but it's not there yet. Still, if India can tap into local sourcing, trim the fat on features, and lean hard on government incentives, it could pose a real threat to Chinese dominance in emerging markets. Think Africa, Southeast Asia, parts of Latin America, regions where a $4,999 EV could change lives. The challenge now isn't just about price, it's about trust, quality, and delivery. But if India can even get close, the global EV game is about to change, and the ripple effects won't stop there. Let's say India somehow gets this car on the road, even if it ends up closer to $6,500 after fees. That still sends a thunderclap through the global EV market. Why? Because suddenly, consumers realize that electrification doesn't have to come with a luxury price tag. Automakers in the West would be under massive pressure. Tesla's cheapest model starts around $38,000. Ford and GM still chasing margins. Even China, with its low-cost edge, would have to watch its back if India starts exporting small, functional EVs to developing nations. More importantly, this move would flip the narrative. Right now, EVs are seen as a rich man's toy in most of the world. But if India delivers a clean, simple, sub-$7,000 electric car, it becomes a people's vehicle. And that changes everything. The demand would skyrocket, not just in India, but in countries where gas prices hurt and infrastructure's still catching up. The next EV revolution might not come from Silicon Valley or Shanghai, but from New Delhi. And that would be a plot twist no one expected. So, is India really about to drop a $4,999 electric car and flip the entire industry on its head? Probably not today. But the buzz, the belief, and the possibility have already sparked a conversation the EV world can't ignore. Even if the car isn't here yet, the pressure it creates is very real. This is bigger than one vehicle. It's a signal, a warning shot, a challenge to every automaker charging luxury prices for basic innovation. And whether the $4,999 dream comes true next month or next year, one thing's clear: the race to the bottom has officially begun. Because once people see a price like that, they won't forget it. Expectations have changed, and when expectations change, industries follow. Fast. So if you're in the EV game and you're not paying attention to what's brewing in India, you might already be behind.